Hey Nick, how are you?
Tony, how are you?
Well, thank you. Long time no see, and I'm very keen to hear, or we are very keen to hear, what's happening with Hello Claims. So give us a brief overview. What happened in the last 12 months?
Sure, last 12 months, even probably the last 6 years has been rapid growth for Hello Claims. It's all been positive, challenging but positive. We've moved into our own premises, as you've just saw, so we've graduated from the Innovation Hub kind of into our own premises here. We've grown the team to just under 40 people now in Coffs Harbour alone, which is great for the community and great for us because the talent here is really strong coming out of the, not only the schools but the TAFEs and whatnot. So it's a good education ground for us to get some great staff and very much underpinning our success for the future.
Great. For the viewers, one of the most challenging ways to keep our tenants at the Innovation Hub is, especially when they grow super fast, how we can accommodate their space need. And Nick is one of those examples that he needs so much space with his rapid growth that we couldn't hold him back. And so good for you.
Yes.
And what's happening with Hello Claims? Is it who owns it? What happened in the last 12 months?
Yeah, sure. Probably in the last 2 months to 2 years, we have essentially taken on a major investor who had other product lines similar to ours, and we really complemented. So from a strategic point of view, it really did make sense to move in and join the Claim Central group, which we've done. They've got significant offices which we operate out of in Sydney. We've also expanded into New Zealand and really, I think over there we've got a team now of about 15, and we've recently won over there the small provider, business provider of the year against some pretty global powerhouses. So we're really happy with that. I think moving from the Innovation Hub to our own premises here, it was really good to have one less thing to worry about in relation to the little things like Wi-Fi and rent and all that type of thing, and you could just focus on growing your business, which really laid the platform for us to be able to springboard into our own premises.
Okay, and from a growth point of view, and COVID-19 is a big challenge for many businesses out there. You have mastered it quite well, and can you tell us a rough overview what Hello Claim actually does?
Sure.
Especially what it means during COVID-19.
Sure. Essentially, Hello Claims manages insurance claims on behalf of insurers and controls the process of, if you're in a motor vehicle accident, they'll contact us and we will handle it on behalf of an insurer. COVID has been challenging because during lockdowns people don't drive, which means they don't have accidents. But essentially what we've been able to do is adapt our technology, including live streaming assessing, from a process where traditionally customers have gone to a smash repairer, got a quote, come back, and then we send an assessor out to basically assess the damage and then authorise repairs. What we've been able to do via live stream assessing, as I say, is to basically film via the customer's phone the damage, carry out an assessment with them at their own home, and then send that footage to a smash repairer to compile the quote and then send it back to us. So very COVID responsible, I guess we could say, plus we're not delaying the claim at all, which involves a lockdown. So, it's in our DNA to find solutions to problems. That's the first thing we do when we speak to clients is ask them what their problems are, and then we work to solve that. So COVID was a big problem, but, our team pivoted quickly and we use our technology to keep continuing to grow.
I suppose that's the benefit of a agile startup, where you can move quicker than the big corporate who have, standard procedures where they have to follow. What is the essence you would recommend if we have lots of startups, let's say in Sydney, and they're looking at regional spaces? And do you think it's worthwhile exploring regional areas to operate from?
Look, I think that and this is strictly my opinion,
okay.
Everyone has their own opinion, but as we've seen with Melbourne and Sydney, consistently when there is a breakout in COVID, it's shut down. Coffs Harbour hasn't had a case. Port Macquarie, I think, have only had a few cases. So to go regionally and be risk averse in relation to these shutdowns in the future, it makes complete sense. And really, with our offices in Sydney, with our parent group, we have been uninterrupted basically the entire way. So really, when you're doing tenders, RFPs, etc., they ask what you do differently to limit risk. Well, being regional and being out of those high exposure areas is a big tick for us. Recently registered with a couple of the schools to do internship programs,
right.
Not only from university, with business courses and whatnot, but insurance is not traditionally, I'm not saying it's cool, but traditionally not the cool, there's not many guidance counsellors that will sit down and talk about insurance in the school. Obviously we've invested heavily in this area to build and create that pathway, so it's logical that we do partner with the individual schools and then have interns, work experience, whatever it may be, to expose them not only to insurance claims but graphic design, web development, all of those type of things we can offer all here in-house. So it's very logical that we leverage from the community, give another pathway when it comes to insurance, along with all the cool jobs out there in the world. So I think that we've got a very high retention rate in Hello Claims, being in the last 7 years I think that we've had 2 people come and go.
Good to see some familiar faces. So,
absolutely, and I mean this is just us being socially responsible and rotating the staff in small groups from week to week, kind of in and out of the office, just trying to do the right thing, and I think they appreciate that. Anyone that does want to come into the office is obviously welcome, but we try to work in with our team where we can.
That's great. I can see you employ quite a lot of young people, which is great because youth unemployment in regional Australia is a big issue. So it's good to see you making your contribution there too. What is the single advice you would recommend to someone who is starting up? Because you've been in the game now for 6 years, and when we met, I remember you were looking for somebody who can do code review. And
yes. It's funny you mentioned that. That kind of came
so
up. So
what advice can you give to somebody who is starting up and who would like to venture into startups and starting up their own business?
Look, I think that to reach out and discuss, with people that have kind of been there, ticked the box and moved on and learned from their mistakes. One thing good about the Innovation Hub, there was always someone there to kind of mention, to run things by, such as, contracts or non-disclosure agreements, all of these type of stuff that, people could jump onto Google and not necessarily, let's use NDAs or non-disclosure agreements for a reference. Maybe it's not the relevant law in New South Wales and they're getting their information about somewhere else, whereas I just felt that there was that little community there, and you'd kind of visit people in the lunchroom and ask what they did and then kind of bounce things off. So I think that one of the biggest things that I was quite good at was putting my hand up when I needed help and asking people for their opinion. Not necessarily always listened to it, but respected their opinion and certainly took it on board. So I think, being Coffs Harbour, a small community, you look at people that have essentially been there and done it, and you reach out to them from time to time and just ask if you can have a coffee and essentially run through your problems and see what they have to say.
So if there is someone out there in the community, what are the current challenges that you are facing, the community could help you with? Is there something you would like to share or ask for help? Is there something you're looking for?
To be honest, I think, when it comes to traineeships, etc., I think that it's quite difficult in our particular industry to get a smooth kind of traineeship and service provider with training on board in our industry. I'm sure that there's plenty of good providers out there for more mainstream type of traineeships, but for our particular traineeship it's quite hard. We're talking to a few people to partner with them, but that's kind of why we've really approached the schools and trying to get in with them, so we can get the fresh talent coming straight out of the schools and look at those internal training resources.
So what particular skill are you looking for? Is it about customer service? Is it about understand how the insurance ecosystem works? Is it about panel beating? Is it about car detailing? What particular skills are you looking for?
Look, good question. And essentially we have such a diverse group here, everyone from code writers, graphic designers, social media, claims consultants, assessors. So, we very much are looking at different skill sets from different kind of backgrounds. Most certainly the majority of what we do here is the administration and the claims consultants. So, essentially starting people from the ground up, building them through, getting their confidence. They can hear the rest of the team on the phones. I'm probably one of the few kind of executives in business that actually sit right in the middle of the team, so I can specifically hear the conversations that are going on. They do a great job, but sometimes I'll just ask specific questions about customer service and just ensuring that we are delivering and exceeding all expectations, otherwise we won't be here.
And are you still part of the team where it goes to asking actually the real customer how it all went? You keeping your pulse on the ground?
Unfortunately, if you ask my team, probably too much. So
okay.
What we do is essentially offer I essentially put through, I guess you could say, dummy claims as such. Every month I put through about half a dozen, and I not only look at how the assessment portion works or what, but the entire IT system, our first notification of loss, what text messages I'm getting, the automated tools that we have, and just ensuring the whole process is as seamless as possible, and our people are doing what they're supposed to be doing, which look, 99% of the times they do, but sometimes you pick up on things that are quite positive and you can fix quickly. But if you don't get onto those things quite early, then they become bigger problems, and to be honest, causes frustrations for the team. I think another thing I do that's a little bit different is I randomly call 3 people every single month in our team and just ask them from, that could be an assessor, data entry, whatever it may be, ask them if there's any frustrations, are there any bugs in the system, and I run through all of that type of thing just to knock everything on the head and try to get it working as efficiently as possible, because once you get frustrations into the team, their computer might be slow, there may be a bug, then when they're trying to do their job, it becomes a huge frustration and they leave.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
That's all.
Anytime.
What we had to ask. Do you have any questions?
No, that was great. I got a lot of inspiration from that. Thank you very much. It's all about those systems, isn't it? Those internal systems.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the businesses, even the people that kind of reach out here, you've got to manage the scalability. But a lot of people manage scalability by removing that customer service, and all of a sudden they're talking to a robot, and it's okay talking to a robot, but when you get frustrated, you have to be able to reach out for someone and say, help. And that's what we do well. Is yes, we're automated, we have processes, we have a great IT system, but we've got a great team here that can come in and complement all of that.
Yeah, the way you test your systems as well,
yes.
Monthly, the way that you're making sure that it's all flowing is it's
absolutely.
fantastic.
Even down to the wording of the text messages. I picked up last week that there was a capital O in the middle of a word instead of, it was all those little, the town has pride in what they do.
Yeah, wow. Wow. Congratulations.
Great.
Thank you.